Apparently Hillary Clinton is too stupid to do it. But the truth is, she's a criminal in waiting, ladies and gentlemen. That's what she is. She is a criminal in waiting. Every aspect of her life, from cattle futures on through to today, it's been cutting corners, favoritism, money thrown at her, favors, and on and on and on. When you look at this woman's career, what the hell has she actually done? What has she done? There was a really good analysis of this Hillary Clinton scandal, the criminal in waiting, as I call her. Really, I couldn't call her. I call her criminal in waiting. By my view, she's a criminal, but in waiting because she hasn't been officially labeled as such. In The Observer by Austin Bay. And Austin Bay, as it turns out, is a contributing editor at strategypage.com and adjunct professor, University of Texas, Austin, and so forth. He points out this, and by the way, this is an explosive report. I know the effort will be made to downplay this and bring in Colin Powell. Let's pretend for a minute Colin Powell did exactly the same thing, which he didn't. Colin Powell, who loves Barack Obama, who voted for him twice, who attacks conservatives relentlessly, Colin Powell didn't have a private server in his basement. So let's just get that off the table. I don't even care about Colin Powell, or his colon. But Bay writes in a pre-release copy of a report on Hillary Clinton's failure to obey federal record-keeping laws, which Politico obtained, the State Department's Office of the Inspector General delivers an 83-page doozy. The State Department Inspector General's office concluded the former Secretary of State violated legally mandated record-keeping requirements. Quote, Secretary Clinton should have preserved any federal records she created and received on her personal account by printing and filing those records with the related files in the Office of the Secretary. At a minimum, she should have surrendered all emails dealing with department business before leaving government service, and, because she did not do so, she did not comply with the department's policies that were implemented in accordance with the Federal Records Act. She didn't file the policies, she didn't file the federal law, she violated federal law. Period. Now what's the FBI going to do with that, Mr. Comey? What's the hack attorney general going to do with that, Ms. Lynch? You going to be chasing bathrooms or what? What are you going to do? It's like Selma. Bureaucratese riddles that last sentence, but the message is clear. She broke the law. Hillary Clinton has indeed done something wrong. Her claims of innocence to the contrary. Her failure to obey federal record-keeping laws tie, handcuff perhaps may be a better metaphor, her to potentially felonious mishandling of top-secret national security information. Unprotected or poorly protected national security secrets pass through her private email system. Ding, 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 bingo, bingo. That's a violation of the Espionage Act. And you know damn well, as Secretary of State, where virtually everything's coming through this private server unprotected, you know damn well that top secret information went through there, and we know as a matter of fact that it did. Now that should be the end of that. She should be hauled off, pending her trial. Yes, correct. And they don't even have to give her pantsuit. She has enough pantsuit. She'll fit right in with the crowd there. The honest truth is, Ms. Clinton's so-called email scandal isn't about her email. It's about her dishonesty. It's actually not about her dishonesty. It's about her criminality, I would argue. Hence the FBI investigation, with the possible crimes including serious fundamental breaches of the laws implemented to protect national security secrets. Hillary Clinton decided to retain personal control of her government-related communications, and the Office of Inspector General report speaks to this seeming crime. Hiding her government-related communications from legally required scrutiny served Mrs. Clinton's own personal political interests, more important to her than obeying the law. Even worse, her actions prove more important than protecting the American people. The Federal Records Act has penalties for government employees who do not comply. Of course, it's up to the Department of Justice to enforce them. But they're too busy attacking school districts that don't allow boys to use the girls' bathroom. Furthermore, apparently Mrs. Clinton never requested permission to operate her own private server. You want to know why? Because she, like Obama, like all these leftists, they think they're dictators. They think they're different than all they're despotic in their mindsets. How many times have I said they have a totalitarian mindset? They do. These rules don't apply to me. Do you know who I am? She refused the Office of Inspector General request for an interview. There's a great quote, he says, footnote 152, page 38. Quote, Secretary Clinton declined the Office of Inspector General's request for an interview. The former deputy chief of staff for operations has not responded to its request for an interview. Yes, more than one key Clinton aide refused to grant interviews to the office of the inspector general, including her closest little croniettes. That's right, croniettes. A close reader of the document will note that the current Secretary of State, John Kerry, agreed to an interview. So did former Secretaries Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell, and Madeleine Albright. A brief aside on the tactics in Miss Clinton's war on honesty: dodging investigators, dodging reporters, asking challenging questions is a move Miss Clinton frequently employs. Dodging does two things. First, it buys time. It buys time to cobble together a cunning answer that the New York Times editorial page can tout as sufficient. Buy enough time and the questioner might quit asking questions, if only in frustration. Buy enough time and Miss Clinton can claim the issue's old news. In the case of official investigators, dodging has operational efficacy. It reduces the possibility that Hillary would commit, on the record, perjury. As you know, I've said from the start there should have been a federal grand jury. Maybe there is one in secret, but you would think that would have leaked by now. Drag her in her pantsuit in front of that federal grand jury, but apparently not. Doesn't work that way if you're a powerful Democrat. Back to the report. Buried way down in the document lies a telltale comment that strongly suggests calculated intent. Oh, do tell. IG investigators, quote, identified one email exchange occurring shortly before Secretary Clinton joined the department that demonstrated a reluctance to communicate the requirement to incoming staff. In the exchange, records officials within the Bureau of Administration wondered whether there was an electronic method that could be used to capture the secretary's emails because they were not comfortable advising the new administration to print and file email records. Retaining records and submitting to requisite accountability rules is the requirement Ms. Clinton and her soldiers in her war on honesty find uncomfortable. Why the reluctance to obey the law? The Inspector General found an email in which Ms. Clinton tells her Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations, quote, I don't want any risk of the personal being accessible. This appears on document page 38. Tactical and operational dodging certainly looks like it. The State Department's Inspector General report clearly documents apparent law. This guy writes apparent, I will say flat-out law-breaking. Perhaps the Obama administration's Department of Justice is waiting for the FBI to complete its investigation before pressing charges. If the FBI concludes it has evidence of crimes, the Justice Department must proceed. But if it doesn't, Congress must seek a special prosecutor. Don't hold your breath. Do you think Mitch McConnell will agree to a special prosecutor? Mitch McConnell is a buffoon. He won't agree to any such thing. And unless she's indicted by the Obama administration, which would be a remarkable thing, would it not, ladies and gentlemen? Fanciful, in fact, I fear. Nothing will happen to her. Don't expect Mitch McConnell to step up. Or Bob Corker, potential VP running mate for Donald Trump. Or Lamar Alexander. Or all the other fools there in the United States Senate.